Let me get up my phone. Hello, my loves. Happy Friday. Let me open up my app so that I can see who shares. Let's do some readings again. Let's have some fun. There we are. There I am. Okay. Let me open up my comments. Perfect. Now I can see. Say hello when you hop on and let me know where you are watching from. Know that if you are catching this after the fact, when I am no longer live, if you were drawn to this, there's probably a message for you in this. Just because you didn't actually get read personally by me, there's probably somebody who had a question similar to something that you are struggling with, and that answer that they received will probably help you a lot. So just listening to wisdom from the guides or from the messages that other people bring forth is sometimes often a really good thing. So I'm not going to do general messages, Kelly. I can pull a card for you. I'm doing specific questions. If you want, if you're just open to a message, then I can pull a card. But we're going to do it light today, just because I'm doing these for free. And why am I not seeing? I need to see these comments because it shows me who shared. There we go. Okay, you want a card? All right, let's do a card. Let's do it from this deck. I'm always connected to you since you're a private mentor student, but I'm gonna go a little deeper for just a second. Okay, so now I know why they wanted me to go deeper. You're receiving a lot of energy right now, and that energy is really wanting to be utilized. It needs to flow through you, and you are white knuckling it. You are not allowing it to move through. So it's all on the left side of your body because that's obviously the receiving side. So you are receiving a ton of energy right now, because there's things that you've been asking for, and we know what those are. Like there's things you've been asking for. There's things that you've been wanting to do, ways you've wanted to be, and so they're bringing forth. It's like they're trying to help, and there's like white knuckle is just the words that I'm getting. It's like I feel it in my jaw. It's like you don't want to allow that energy to move through because you are so wanting to be in control. But control is based on fear. It's based on you thinking you know what's best, and what's best, what you think is best, has not gotten you very far, my love. So you really need to just allow that energy to flow, surrender to it. And when you and I talked earlier today, again, she's a private mentor student, so she has more access to me on Messenger. But you tapping into your music again and being creative again, things that we've already talked about, really allowing that creative flow is really going to help you to step out of that need to control. So let's pull a card. I wasn't planning on giving you all of that, but they're like, you need to just go a little deeper today. So we went a little deeper. All right, I said I'd pull you a card, so let's see. What's Kelly Hansen need to know? We're going to take a breath because you recenter my energy here. I haven't pulled cards for people on live in a long time. We're just doing all kinds of new fun things again. And remember, if you're hopping on and you're new, you weren't here in the beginning, I'm Johanna Burkhardt. I'm a multidimensional channel healer and teacher. And I am going to be being of service today. So if you would like some guidance, please share publicly. That way I can see in the comments that you have a share badge. And I will and ask your question or what you need guidance around. Okay, so Kelly, you got communication. I think you already know what this means because you have so much communication going on from spirit guides right now, and from people that have crossed over to the other side. So they're saying they're showing you a further validation just to prove to you that you are in communication with them and to just trust what you're getting and feeling. And they really want you to continue the dialogue. Um, it's not a one-way communication to where you get a message and you're like, okay, it's a conversation. So converse with them. And they're saying it's always a collective. So it's never just one person. That person may be the one who is the dominant energy that you can feel at that time. But it's always a collective. Your guides always work as a collective. So know that, again, it's not a singular conversation that you're having. So I hope that helps. I always burn up when you connect to me. Yeah, and you know why? Because, my words are light encoded. So the moment I connect and start connecting with your energy, when you've given me permission to connect to your energy, there is a realignment that's happening. So if there's things that are in the way, that's got to be burned off. Some people get cold, some people get hot. I've had people literally tell me after working with me that their pee smelled funny because they're literally releasing things from their body. It's crazy the things that can happen. It just goes to show you that it doesn't matter where we are in the world. We don't have to be right next to the person. Energy is energy. It's beautiful. Look at the little people coming on here to try and play with us today. Nope, we're not doing that. Delete comment. I really need a moderator. I need a moderator who can do this. I forgot what it's like doing free readings. Kelly says, yes. Thank you. Yes, improving conversation. I feel them and hear them. Thanks so much. You're very welcome. Very welcome. Okay, remember, if you just want a general read, I'll tap into your energy and then I'll pull you a card. If you have a specific question, again, no legal or love today, you can drop your question. But if you want a general read, I'm just going to tap into your energy, tell you what's going on, and pull a card. So if you just say you're open to a message that way, that's how it's going to go down today. I don't know. I would love for you to be a moderator, Kelly. I don't know how to do that. So this is new to me. I haven't done readings like this in forever. And actually, let me see. Let me see if I do it from my phone because I'm on a thing. If I can make you a moderator. Yeah, I have no idea how to do that. I don't know how to do it. But thank you for the sediment. I need to figure it out, though. I will figure it out and get back. Oh my gosh. The trolls are out today. Yeah, we'll figure it out. Sorry, you guys. I need to delete these comments and block them. I don't like that energy. The moment you put free anything, when you do this, they just come out. It's like a keyword that the bots search for. It's crazy. Okay, let's see who's next. Let me see who has shared. Be sure to share publicly, so it'll give you a little badge on your name that says that you have shared. Lauren Hughes Houghton, I was very much drawn to you. She's actually right down the street from where I am right now. She's close to me. Lauren, are you still here? And if you guys would like to book a quantum soul session or a reading, the link is above for that. Donations are always appreciated, but not if you feel guided or called. Okay, you're here. All right. Let me tap into you. So when I tapped into you, all of my energy went all the way up into my third eye and behind my third eye. And I had almost an instant headache. I don't know if you get headaches or you have a headache currently, but I could feel the pressure and tension all in my forehead. And my eyes wanted to roll back and start fluttering, which is always my sign for um, an activation and clearing. Um, there is a cleansing of your perception right now. So I talk about this often. We can change our lens of perception on things very easily and quickly, but sometimes we need a little assistance from consciousness to come in and really help break down old belief systems and old ways of seeing and believing. Um, I really feel like you, trying to use the right words here. You don't give yourself enough credit, and I don't really feel like you see your gifts and abilities and potentials in the way, in the truth of what they are. It's almost like you're playing small. I don't know if it's because you're content and comfortable where you are, meaning the growth that would come from you stepping up a level, and going a little bigger and wider in your audience and in your work. I'm not sure what is holding you back or if you've been feeling that, but there is a cleansing happening, really a widening of your awareness and potential, really wanting you to kind of take things up to another level or another notch, and to really start to believe and see the power and beauty. It's not an ego thing. It's not an ego thing. It's not a thing where who am I, or people are going to judge or question you. That's going to happen. That happens every day because people judge again through their own lens of perception, which is colored by their own wounds, which is colored by their own beliefs. It has nothing to do with you, right? And I know you know that, but it's just a reminder of that. But your abilities are really good. Like you're a very talented healer, and they're also talking about art. Are you doing art? Are you painting now? Are you going to start painting? Like there's some type of artistic expression, visual thing that's wanting to come through that you infuse with your energy. Um, like you infuse with Reiki or whatever energy form of, really, I would say Reiki is the gateway drug to energy healing. It's a structure, but really, you know how to channel the energy. of certain frequencies, of certain intentions. And there's some type of artistic expression that is wanting to come through, infused with art and offered to people, like a healing piece that they would post in their home, or it's something along those lines. So let's see what card we come in. I laugh at myself because I'm like, we're gonna do it light today. We're just gonna do cards, and then I just channel anyway. All right, this card deck is so new and sticky. I have to shuffle them a different way. So let's see. I really feel called to this deck though for you. You have a lot of fairies around you too, Lauren. A lot of fairies. I feel like you know that. So. Huh. Look at this. I don't know how to say the word. Merope Gate. So this is what deck is this? I just took this out of my storage. The Star Temple Oracle. Gateways of Light, infinite. I have unlimited access to the divine mind. But it's interesting because, so I want you to look at the card. So it's definitely a validation of the activation of divine light coming through and assisting you and really opening. But there's also a balancing here of the divine feminine and masculine, because there's the two there. It's like they're coming into union. So for me, this feels like it's you combining the power, stepping into your power and really taking yourself up to that next level, and to support that feminine, artistic, energetic flow that you have, right? And allowing it to be fully illuminated, allowing your divine light to really be supported and really, really put you out there, because everything is infinite, right? This is an infinite game. You have infinite abundance. We're naturally abundant, but you have unlimited access to your divine mind. So tap into your creativity, but you need to little work on the structure to support that. So I hope that resonates with you. Kelly said, I feel Kundalini energy with that card. It must be the snake. Yeah, the snake it is sometimes a symbol of Kundalini energy. But the snake is also representative of what Kundalini energy does, which is purifying, right? Which is purifying your divine light, your column of light, right? So our pillar, our chakra pillar is what I call my column of light. And so when you go through a Kundalini awakening, it clears that pillar. It clears the pillar from the root all the way up. And it really allows for that column of light to be cleared out so that you can channel more purely, and not through the filters of necessarily our wounds and such. She says, most definitely resonates with where I am currently. Perfect. Okay. All right, let me see who else has shared. Hello, Michelle. Let me go out and come back in. And yes, fairies have been with me a lot lately, spending much time in nature. So beautiful. Okay, Polly. There you are. I see your share tag now. Okay. Okay, so you just want a general too? Jen, let me look, because it shows your share tag now. I had to refresh it. I'll get to you in a second. After Polly, I will do yours, Jen. It just wasn't showing the share tag, so sometimes I have to come out and come back in. It's frustrating. Okay. Polly McLeroy, I hope I said that right. This is for you. All right, we're not using this deck. We're going to use this deck. Oops. As half of it falls down. Okay. This light is not, we're having the same light situation as we did last time. I just don't have a other place to be in the house that has better lighting. We're just going to have to work with what we got. We have to work with what we got. Okay. Okay, so Polly, what are you holding on to? What are you holding on to? In the left side of my gut, above the belly button, kind of between the sacral and the solar plexus, there is like a rock hard mass in my stomach that feels heavy and can probably cause hardness and bloating in your stomach. And it's just this big, heavy rock, this big block of energy. And it's definitely an attachment. So what are you holding on to? Because this is causing you some distress in your life. Um, and I can feel, I feel like you have a lot of ascension symptoms. Like you really feel the energy, and when that happens, um, it's because you're not managing your energy well, and there's a lot of clearing or assistance that's trying to come through to help you as well. So it's this and that, honestly. It's not like it's your fault because you're not managing your energy. It's that you're not, how do we want to say this? When you're feeling the energy, when you're feeling this stuff, you're not managing it well. So I don't know if you're like eating to ground or to comfort or whatever it is that you're doing, you're not allowing yourself to feel it because it's uncomfortable. So what is it that you're holding on to? They really want you, they really want you to talk about this. I don't know if you're wanting to talk about it here. You can always book a session, but I feel like you're holding on to something. And it has the imprints of shame. It has the imprints of shame. And that means that it's something that shame is I'm the problem. Guilt says I've done something wrong. So when it's shame, it really feels like you are taking some type of energy very personally, very personally. So what you can do, because you're saying you're not sure, what you can do is tap into yourself. Start becoming very aware of your body and the sensations that are in your body. And when you feel discomfort in your body, is begin to explore the sensations. So I always say, act as if you're a 5-year-old child and you're having to describe to your mom or to the doctor what you're feeling. And in doing this, you're stripping away an emotion, right? You can use, there's a time and a place to use, the emotional wheel, if you will. And there's nothing wrong with that. But oftentimes when we label something with an emotion, especially when we're not in a space where we can really own and work with our energy in that way and be okay with it, we need to drop the labels of shame, guilt, resentment, anger, sadness, grief, and just go, I feel bloated. Okay, and let me go into that deeper. Like, is it hard? Is it squishy? Is it hot? Is it cold? How does it move? How does it breathe? And just really explore it. And for me and my clients, it's a hack. It's a hack because most people resist feeling uncomfortable or feeling their pain or feeling their emotions, and they want to bypass them, or they want to push them down, or they want to distract them, they want to scroll, they want to eat, they want to drink, they want to spiritually bypass, whatever, all the things. And this is a hack because you're investigating it, and through investigating it, you're actually going headfirst into the storm. I don't know who I was listening to. I wish I knew. I was listening to something and I only caught a couple of minutes of it. Um, but they were talking about the difference between buffalo and cows. And when there's a storm, both animals can sense, like most animals, can sense a storm is coming. Cows will run from the storm. They will try to outrun the storm. And they will get so exhausted, the storm will eventually catch up to them, and they will literally be running with the storm, never leaving the storm, until they're so exhausted that they stop and they allow the storm to pass. Whereas a buffalo turns around, faces the storm, and runs straight into it, head first. The storm passes quickly over them, and they're happy and free, and they still have all of their energy. And this is very much a metaphor for what humans do. Very much a metaphor for what humans do. So, whatever is going on in your life, whatever you're not happy with or whatever you're struggling with, go head first into it. That is the point. Allow yourself to feel all of it. Through talking to you about this and expressing this, the pain in my stomach is gone. So that tells me that we nailed it. All right, let's see what card comes through. Good morning, Sonia. I actually did the YouTube membership support video today to answer your question. So it is in there. Here we go. It is in there for you, my love. Okay. So we got for you, Polly, we got the dog, the number 19. I don't know why I felt really called to tell you the number 19. If we were to add them together, it would be a 10. No, they're saying don't add them together. So it's just 19. I don't know why. I don't know if 19 is a significant number for you. But it says loyalty, sincerity, and unconditional love. And I'm hearing like this is how you need to be to yourself. You need to be this loyal and unconditional and sincere to yourself. So I don't know if you have a lot of negative self-talk, or if you shame yourself a lot, or if you blame yourself a lot, or if you're really hard on yourself, but you need to start treating yourself with unconditional love, loyalty, and sincerity and compassion, and really just being a little bit easier on yourself. I know, I love that metaphor too. I swear to you, it was like a 2-minute thing that I heard. I just caught it really fast and I was like, damn, that was great. That was great. Okay, Jen Deck is next. Jen, did you have a specific question, or are you just wanting me to just do a general? If you're just hopping on, if you would like a reading, please share it publicly. It'll create a share badge next to your name so I know that you shared. And you can either say I want a card or a general, and I'll just tap in and see what I feel. I'm an energy reader. I'm a multidimensional channel, so I'm an energy reader. I will read your energy, and that will give me a lot of insight, and the guides will come through. And then we'll pull a card. If you have a specific question, we are not doing legal or love today. You can post those. If you'd like a reading or book a quantum soul session, which is not a reading, but your guides are involved. The link is above. Donations are always appreciated, but I'm here to be of service today. Hello, Miss Kelly Murphy. That is a name and a beautiful face I have not seen in a while. I'm happy to see you. General's fine. Okay, Jen Deck is up. I love your name, by the way. I don't know why. It just feels like a powerful name. Also, she is, those of you with children, those of you with children, I'm just going to do a quick plug because I can. Those of you who saw my email that I've sent out and I've posted a few times about the kid spiral connection. I'm probably saying that wrong. Anyway, she's the creator of that, and the rest of us are all just collaborators with it. It is an amazing resource to help your children, an amazing resource. I've never seen a resource library that big to help you support your children in the energy today and what's happening in the world, helping them with things that are going on. This light situation is driving me nuts. I will post about it and email about it again, but she's offering that whole collection for only $97. When you see what's in it, you'll be like, holy cow, that is a steal. So anyway, she was the mastermind behind that. Okay. So this is interesting kind of feeling and visual that I got at the same time. So I felt your solar plexus immediately. With just this immense amount of energy. And it literally brought me up to my throat and my ears, and I felt this triangulation happening with that energy coming up from the throat and from the ears. And what I feel is this energy of I can't handle it. It's driving me crazy. Let me see if I can figure out. There we go. This energy of God, it reminds me of somebody who has anxiety, but it's not anxiety. It's like this fire. It's like Mars energy. It's like, go, go, go. I got to do this. I got to say that. It feels like you have a million things to do and a million things to go. And you have all of these ideas coming in. You are really starting to hear your guidance clairaudiently. And the way that you do that is probably a little bit differently than how I process it, because it really feels more like it is coming clairaudiently, but you're almost interpreting it as claircognizantly, which is just a knowing. And it's like these light bulbs and inspirations. And you have a lot of ideas and a lot of growth that you're wanting to continue with what you've just recently created. I actually see this becoming quite a um, arena, is the word they're giving me for you. Um, And it's not that they want you to pump the brakes, but they want you to remember that this is a journey, not a race. That's what they're saying. That's exactly what they just said. And so it feels like, yeah, the Mom Spiral collection right there. So it's a journey, it's not a race. And to know that you are going to be seen, you are going to be heard, you are going to be helpful. This is going to be a thing. I'm an Aries. That makes a lot of sense. I'm glad you said that. But there's a lot of power and fire around you to go, 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 and do, do, do. And so again, they're not saying pump the brakes. They're not saying like don't be who you are, right? That was definitely what they were saying. But again, remember it's a journey, not a race. And don't worry. Don't worry. Like even if It doesn't happen in the expected timeline of result that you're looking for. So these are weird wordings here. It's going to happen. Um, it's a lot of information that you are providing for parents, and I think that parents have a hard time, honestly. So okay, I'm going to relate this to my what happened with my book. So Become Your Own Superhero, when that came out, I thought I was writing. I wrote the book for my son, right? My son was being bullied. I wrote the book for my son, um, and gave it to him because at the time, there's a lot of resources out there now, but at the time, there was not a journal and a guidebook, empowerment book, that I thought would be best for him and his age group. There wasn't anything on the market. There was a lot of stuff for little kids, but he was older. He was in that preteen energy, and so my husband at the time looked at me and said, "Create something then." And I was like, "Duh." So I did. And I was really only meant to publish it for him just so it could look like a real book, but I ended up making it go public. But here's what I'm getting to. It's a long story to get to this one thing, is this. It ended up helping the parents more than it did the kids. Not that the kids weren't helped, but as parents received it for their children and started to go through the content, they were like, "I think I needed this." Because we forget that our children are mirrors of our inner children, right? That's what a lot of the time, not everything they do, but a lot of the time they're mirroring back our own inner children so that we can see what's happening within our being. And so while this was teaching them how to communicate with their children, it was also helping them to help themselves. And so I feel like there is going to be this little bit of a lag because it's a little overwhelming. Like I said when I first, before I tapped into her, you guys, there's like 70 plus probably collaborators in this collection she put together. And the stuff that is in there is mind blowing of how much resources there is, especially for that price. But I have a feeling that a lot of the parents are going to start to go through this content and they're going to be helped in the process. And so it, this is a new, and just like when I put my thing out there, it's kind of an untapped market. And so um, you're really stepping into something really good here. So don't worry. Um, One step at a time. Don't feel the need to do everything all at the same time. I do see you getting access to bigger platforms, though, where you're going to get bigger reach. I do feel that's coming. So, networking, podcasts, radio shows, anything like that, just to continue to spread the word is going to be really good. Um, Good. Okay. So the card that came out for you was the cat, independence, healthy boundaries. It's the number is 18. So with that number, that number for me is always about judgment. It's always about judgment. 18 is always a number of judgment for me. So that's where the healthy boundaries would come in. And a cat does not give two shits. The cat is like, this is my house. You can act like you think you know me. You can act like you're in charge of me. You can act like you're the boss, but you ain't the boss. You ain't the boss. I'm independent. I do it my way. And that's the healthy boundaries. So you can judge me. You can try to control me. You can try to tell me how this is supposed to go. You can try to tell me that it's not going to work, but I'm going to win. I'm going to win. And the cat, for those who don't know, I always say cats are aliens in cat suits. They're they're heavy transmuters. Um, that's why they usually will lay on you. Their purr has been scientifically proven to be a healing sound for sound healing. So that's another symbol of that, of the level of healing and transmutation, I think, that will be available through what you're doing. So it's really good. She says, "Yay, exactly the energy I'm in today and the message I was getting today, too." Woo, yes, love that confirmation. Right? Okay. let's see. Oh, let me look at my thing and see who's next. Remember, I will be looking for the share badge. Let me refresh it because sometimes it doesn't show up right away. Who was next? Of course, it's not showing me. Let me look over here. I think I'm going to be called to Kelly Murphy. I heard your name, so I'm going to go with you. I will, don't worry if I haven't got to you. I will do as many as I possibly can until my energy says we're done. Oh, thanks for sharing my link. I appreciate that, Jen. I need to send another email out. I have done a few social media posts, but I think you got something really good going on. Bye, Kelly. Enjoy your workout. Okay. Kelly Murphy, are you here, my love? Just gonna give it a second and see if Kelly Murphy's still here. Yep, she's here. Okay. We're gonna switch decks. Trying to get this deck to not be so sticky. I just don't use cards really anymore, but for myself. And so this deck has not gotten much use. All right. Okay, so what I immediately felt, Kelly Murphy. What I immediately felt, I don't know why I need to feel that. I need to keep saying your name. Isn't that weird? Was your Kundalini energy at the base of your spine? I feel like you are going through your Kundalini rise or getting ready to. Your Kundalini rise happens over. Everybody has this, by the way. Everybody, even if they're not aware of what the fuck's happened. Excuse my. I am full of f-bombs today. Just gonna say. Let me block this person. So sorry about the f-bombs. Sorry, not sorry. But anyway, a Kundalini rise happens over 18 months. Every single person goes through it, and even if they're not aware of what they're going through. A lot of times people call this the midlife crisis. But it's when you step into your body awakening. And so they really begin to clear the path of your column of light. And you, my dear, over the last, really over this last year, but even some of last year, you really stepped into your transformational journey. You like took it up a lot of notches. And I know you personally, so I know that I don't know what you've done recently, but I know that I know some of the things that you have done. Um, you have really taken that up a notch, and you have really stepped into uh, really doing the deep healing work, the deep healing work. So I could feel that happening, that Kundalini rise, but I also felt these major adjustments happening in your throat. It wasn't a bulging throat like you needed to express something. It was literally like someone was kickboxing in your throat, which is always my sign for a major throat chakra upgrade. And what that means is they're expanding you to be able to bring through certain frequencies. This is interesting. Are you a breathwork practitioner now? Um, because I feel like you're going to create something. Huh. I feel like you're going to create your own thing that is a mix of using breath work and sound as a form of alchemy. Something, something in that type of energy. But the throat is really being stretched, and there's going to even be adjustments if there's not already to your jaw. Let me just tell you, if this is what's happening when this part happens, when you're a channel and you have to start holding new frequencies, or you're going to start channeling a new language of light, they make adjustments to your jaw, and it can be quite uncomfortable. But they do it so that you can make certain sounds, and they require your jaw to be in a certain position. So they start stretching your throat and they start manipulating your jaw. I mean, this is a real thing that happens. And I've talked to other people that are in my industry that do similar things to me, and it's uncomfortable. But there's a lot of this going on. She just got certified. Who is in my driveway? Um, just haven't done anything with it yet. Oh, it's my son. What time is it? Son's home early. Sorry for the distraction. So, why haven't you done anything with it yet? Because I really feel like you're going to create your own thing with it. So maybe that's why you haven't done anything with it yet. As a breathwork facilitator. Well, how exciting is that? I haven't told anybody, but I've actually felt called to get certified in breathwork as well. You got scared. Okay, that makes sense. Well, that's probably why your Kundalini energy is also, um, when your Kundalini, yeah, okay. When your Kundalini energy starts to rise and starts to really activate, that comes from the dormant place in your root, right? It's unlocked in your root. Well, what do we have in our root? What is stored there at the base of our spine? Fear, um, lack, limitation, judgment, scarcity, survival, all of those frequencies. So when that Kundalini really busts your root open and starts to clear things, it brings up those things. So this is an interesting thing that they have said, and they're reminding me of it right now, is that, oftentimes when we feel fear, I know for me, I've experienced this. When we feel fear, we feel lack, that the guides always come in and say, what if you change, you had, it doesn't make any, you had all right, I'm just going to say it. You had a mainframe change, meaning that it wasn't coming up because you're in fear. It's not coming up because you're in lack or whatever it is, right? I'm just using these terms because these are things you're not in survival, but it's coming up and feeling it because it's wanting to come into your heart. It's being cleared. And remember that anytime something is really intense, it means it's literally at the door of your heart. It's knocking at the door of your heart, going, let me and accept me. Just love me in my form. Right? My tattoo, I love you anyway. This is phase 4 of the purification process. This is energy number 4. I love you anyway means I love you in all your forms. So when that comes up, can you be like, oh, this is coming up because it's clearing. And all I have to do is open my heart and say, it's okay that we're afraid. I love you anyway. And just really accept that energy. So the main frame change that they're talking about is reframing what is happening with you. That is what it is. And so I feel as you work with that some more, you're really going to start to have that creative flow. And as you start working more with your throat and utilizing the breath work, they're also saying, this is interesting. And I don't know how the practitioner process works, but offer some free sessions or group things just to get yourself comfortable with what you're doing, with facilitating it. Have fun with it, play with it, mix it up, add things into it. Again, it's going to be through this play and creation and fun process. Don't take yourself so seriously. Don't make it has to be a certain way. If you get it wrong, I know how you are sometimes. So don't let that get in your way. Just play. Just play with it. Just play with it. I was so excited and I had to facilitate. I had a few tell me they didn't like what I was creating. Oh, there was a class as well. It got me scared and sad. Well, F them. They're not your people. They ain't your people. If they don't like what you're creating, they are not your people. That's it. That's it. They're just not your people. They're not your tribe. There's people that don't resonate with me sometimes. There's people that tell me I'm wrong or whatever, and I'm just like, that's okay. I know I'm not. I'm just wrong for you. We're not on the same resonance right now. That's all. And if it's meant for them, it'll come back around for them when they're in the right field. Alcyone, the huntress. It says quest. The Pleiades light my quest to be wild and free. So the Pleiadians are all about love, self-love, healing. But the huntress, like I feel like you need to embody this huntress. You are on a quest. Be you, be free, make your own mark in this world. Be unique. Don't let anybody freaking tell you shit. Come on, girl. I know you. I know your power. You're truly not really. You don't allow people to do that. Don't. You go after what you want. You create your own way and know that, okay, know that this creation is going to change form probably a few times as you play with it. So play with it. Have fun with it. I hope that resonates for you. I love breath work, by the way. I do a lot of somatic breath work. Breath work is somatic, but there's a particular facilitator that I really have been using for a while, and I share here on my page a lot. Okay, for those of you who are new and joining, I am Johanna. I'm a multidimensional channel teacher and healer. If you'd like a reading, please share it publicly. Yeah, somatic keeps coming up. Somatic is really about embodiment, right? Embodiment. So it's about getting into the body. So think about what the message was for you about utilizing different things like sound and frequency and energy with your breath work, because breath work is really about breathing energy and like accessing that density inside of you, and through breath, like just working with it, right? But if you've mixed it with some other things, like I really feel like there's something there for you. There's something you're going to create, but it's about being in the body, accessing what is in the body, right? Creating that new structure in the body. That is all somatic. It's really about the body and you going through your body awakening at the same time. That's where a lot of that creation is going to come from, with you start tapping into it. So yeah, like I said, share publicly. It'll give me a little share badge for you. And then if you have a specific question, please put your question. If you want a general, I will just tap into you and I will also pull a card. I'm not doing mediumship today. Sometimes I will mix them, but I'm actually feeling called to do mediumship on its own another day. So you can look forward to that. Ooh, tribal dancing with breath work. That sounds fun. That sounds like a lot of fun, girl. You should do that. Okay. Let's see. Who's next? Who am I called to? What time are we at? We're 55 minutes. Okay, Lynn. Is it Cease? Hopefully I didn't mess that up. I felt called to you. I heard your name when I was reading. I'm going to switch decks again. Okay, my love, you are next. Is everyone ready for Christmas? Are you ready to have a beautiful Christmas holiday for those who celebrate? This has been the least Christmassy I have ever been. Hi, Trisha. I have ever been. This is my favorite time of year. When I have my own place, usually on October 1st is when I start decorating. I'm like, Christmas should really be October to February. It's just a magical energy. Who cares about the gifts? Who cares about all that shit? It's the magic, man. The magic that people believe in during this time of year just makes it so much easier in the collective to access it. Makes it so much more free. Okay. Lindsay's. Okay. Lynn, what are you stressing out about? What are you stressing out about, my love? What are you stressing out about? When I tapped into your energy, I could feel, first of all of my energy went into my face. Like all of it went into my face. And I could feel this pressure in my jaw of holding back. Like it's all rushing up. It's like, and you're just holding it back, and it's just creating this stress inside of your body and into your jaw. This is not good energy. This is not good energy. This is not, this is going to exhaust you. This is going to exhaust you. So before we do anything else, I want you to work with me for a second. This is what I'm feeling guided to do. So if you're in a position to do this, please do this. If not, you can always come back to it. But we really want to give you a little assistance here because they're taking this quite seriously. They want you to take this quite seriously, what you're putting yourself through. So I want you to just close your eyes if you're able to. If you're driving, please don't do this. But if you're able to, close your eyes. And I want you to breathe with me. And anyone who wants to follow along, you can always do that too. But I want you to listen to how I tell you to breathe before you do it. So you're going to breathe in through your nose, filling up your belly, filling up your chest. And when you breathe out, you're going to exhale through pierced lips like a straw, nice and slow. But we're going to give you an added on to that. We want you to visualize that straw coming out of both sides of your jaw. We want you to see little straws coming out your jaw. And as you pierce your lips, you're just going to see this energy coming out here, here, here. It's very specific visual, okay? So I want you to follow with me, and let's do this 3 times. So when you're ready, I want you to breathe in again through your nose, filling up your belly, your chest. And then nice and slow through pierced lips, visualize that energy releasing from those 3 points. till you have no more breath to exhale. 2 more times. Breathe in through the nose, fill up your chest, fill up your belly, and breathe out through pierced lips, visualizing that coming out those 3 points. And I want you to do it one more time, and I'm going to do some language of light. We're really going to unwind some of this energy. O shakaini isikini ata akal ishnu ota ala ikini oto ota akala e ata ota kinesine ishu ota oko ose ikin ata oshnaka e oshnaka eteke oshnaka ate ine ashu tekine asu oksho ana ala ine shnota ata e sene oshaka a ashoka a atshe ik a ota ateke ine ashuko ola ona atake ine ashotoko atekine ataka o shakata atakeshna atake atakala oshna utekini ula kare kare kara ara ne ota kara ara eshno utakana ada atakine atakana una utakana una atakana una anan ene ushna. Take a nice deep breath and just exhale with a sound. Again, deep breath. Exhale with a sound. Beautiful. All right, I can feel some relief. For those that don't know, your voice is the most healing frequency there is for you in particular. So, learning how to use your voice to give your emotions expression, whether it's through words or through just sounds that you make, especially working with the breath itself, is very, very healing and the easiest, quickest thing you can ever do for yourself. For you in particular, I really feel, Lynn, that you need to work on your boundaries and you need to understand that there are some things that are being mirrored back to you that are triggering you, and those are things that are happening for you to see inside of you, for you to see that live inside of you. Nobody can make you feel anything. They merely push a button and push a button that activates something that already lives inside of you. So there's needs to be some strengthening of your boundaries. And again, for those that don't know, boundaries are your values, your virtues, your standards, what you will tolerate, what you will not, who you are. And you need to be exactly how it is that you portray that. So if your values and virtues are that you are patient and compassionate and authentic, or whatever it is, then you have to behave in that way on an everyday basis. Like that has to be your standard of things. And when somebody does um, things that you will no longer tolerate, there has to be an emotionally intelligent conversation where you say, I literally just had this talk in my YouTube membership, where you say, I don't allow myself to be treated this way. And if you continue to treat me in this way, I am going to leave the conversation or I'm going to leave the room because boundaries are not about other people. It's not about changing their behavior. Their behavior is their behavior. The way they feel is the way they feel. The way they think, the way they believe, that is theirs and that is their right. Just as it is yours to be treated in a way and to do things a certain way that only you allow. And so boundaries is not about other people changing. It's not offense. It is about you saying, listen, I don't allow myself to be treated this way or to be spoken to this way. So if you continue, and comes from a very calm emotional place, but firm, right? I'm going to do this. What you have to list the consequence. You have to say, I'm going to leave the conversation. And then you have to match that. You have to do exactly what you're saying you're going to do. Because if you threaten a lot, if you say I'm going to leave or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that, and then you don't do it, you're teaching them you can be railroaded. You're teaching them you can be railroaded. And When we try to avoid conflict or try to make people happy or keep the peace, you start a war inside of you. You start a war inside of you, and that's what's happening. There is a raging war inside of you, and you're abandoning yourself by pushing these energies down and not giving them the expression that they need. And that expression is not yelling, it's not reactive, it's not punishing, it's not um you know, from an ego place or a wounded place. That's not proper expression. Flipping out, reacting is not. Reacting is what it is, right? It's doing the same action you've always done. That's a reaction, right? You're just doing the same thing over again, and that's the definition of insanity. So when you respond, you're coming from a place of conscious action where you take a minute, you take a beat, you stick the tongue. When someone's treating you poorly or saying something poorly, you stick the tongue to the roof of your mouth and you shut your mouth and you take a internal moment to yourself and say, what I'm about to do next is going to be a clear representation of who I want to be and who I am. Who is that? Who do I want to be and what action would they take? How would they respond? And if you don't know yet because you're triggered, step away. Say, excuse me, I need to step away. We'll continue this in a moment. And give yourself some grace. Go sit on the toilet and just breathe. Sit in your closet, just breathe. Sit in your car, go for a walk, whatever you do, breathe. Don't take it personal. No shame, blame. This is not my problem. Why are they doing this to me? None of that. X-nay on that. Instead, say, okay, if I, who do I want to be? And how would that person respond? That is what I want you to do. And this is going to take some work. This isn't going to happen overnight. So when you fall off the horse, when you fall in the pothole, when you react, hi, Corey, thank you for the love. Don't beat yourself up. Don't go through the shame and blame cycle again. Pick yourself up and say, what do I do now? I fell in the hole. I fell off the wagon, whatever. I reacted. Okay. What's done is done. What do I do now? Hi, Carol. Everything is wonderful. Thank you. So let's pull a card for you, Lynn. Wow, these readings are going way more in depth than I thought they were. I always do this. I always say, hi, Michelle. I always say, I'm going to do these short little readings, and my guys are like, hee, 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 hee. That's not how this is going to work. All right, let's give her something good. What does Lynn need to know? What card do we want Lynn to have? Let's end this on a positive. Can we end this on a positive? And I'm sending you so much love, Lynn. It is not easy being a step parent. It's not easy being a parent. It's like walking a tightrope. And, you know, as I mentioned earlier, Jen Deck created this mom spiral connection that is amazing and it's full of resources. I don't know how old she is, but you might want to at least browse the sales page and see. She posted a link in the thread if you want to go back and look. All right, well, this isn't what I asked for, but it's what you need apparently. So the card is restriction. The number is 35. So 35 for me, that number means adventure. But when you don't see this life, this experience, and what is happening as an adventure, you take it too seriously, and it becomes more of like carrying the world on your back and being forced to walk across the Sahara Desert when you're exhausted and thirsty. So, restriction, right? Because you're exhausted, you're restricting. When you're in resistance, you are restricting. You are going like this. And what you resist persists. So it's about allowance. It's about opening yourself up and allowing yourself to feel. It is about releasing the restriction. It's about allowing yourself to tap into that energy that's coming up and use it as fuel. Use it to create consciously something new, not taking it so personally, really seeing it as more as an adventure. Okay? 38. What does that mean? The number is 35 on the card. 35 is what I was talking about. I don't know what 38 means. Okay, let me see how many more I can get to today. I hope that resonates for you, and I'm sending you a lot of love, Lynn. As I said, there's lots of support, right? There's free support out there if you're looking for paid support with this. I don't work with children directly, but like I said, Jen Deck created the Mom Spiral Collective. There's a lot of resources in there. There's a link you can always look at the page. You can always get a therapist and have somebody that you can word vomit to and really give yourself someone who will hold space for you. You have a lot of different ways that you can approach this. Oh, your stepdaughter is 38. Oh, I see. Yeah, okay, forget the Mom Spiral collection. That's too old. Adult stepchildren are challenging too. But that's, you know, again, the message still applies, right? The boundaries are even more important because when they're older, it's not like they it's different. They have to take responsibility of their behavior. And so the way that you do that is by holding strong to your boundaries. So I would really come back and timestamp this as to where your message is, and I would listen to it a few times because I think that you're going to hear it a couple of different ways each time you listen to it, and I think there's a lot of support in there for you. Okay, so let me see who's next, and who has a share badge by their name. Let me see who I feel called to. Oh, Jen, I don't know. In case you're curious, there's a little symbol that shows up next to their name that is it looks like a little person with a curved arrow. And when that happens, it shows that they've shared publicly. Unfortunately, if you share to like a private group, you don't get the share tag. And so that's why I always say share publicly. But yeah, you'll get a little tag. And it's awesome because in the past, years ago, when I used to do these, we had to take their word for it. And a lot of people would say they did, but they didn't. Anyway, moving on. Okay, I hope I do not butcher your name. Shelly Newsham? If you're still here, can you please comment? Guides are very cheeky. Hey, Lynette. People think, I've had people sometimes think that guides are so serious and direct. Guides, just as consciousness, it has a humor. They're funny as shit sometimes. I actually prefer that because then I always laugh when they give me these messages. Okay. Shelly, if you are here, I'm going to give you one more shout out. If not, I'm going to move on. At this point, because we have so many people on, I'm just going through and seeing who I'm called to. Because remember that oftentimes you'll need to comment so I can see that you're here. Hi, Carissa. I see you watching me. Feels like somebody's watching me. Okay, we'll come back to her if she pops on. We're gonna see who else I feel called to. Carol, your name's popping up. I don't know if you have shared. But your name is popping up. Would you like a reading? Maybe you did further back and I can't see. There's so many comments. If you'd like a reading, please say yes. And what, if you have a specific question, or if you just want a general. If not, we'll move on to the next person. Okay. Oh, yeah, you were the one. Someone said, thanks for sharing. Okay. I was really, your name popped out. So I know it can be frustrating when you've shared and you really want to I'm getting really hot from channeling. You want a reading, but trust the process. I'm always guided to specific people because sometimes it will often help the most people. If that person gets a reading, it will be beneficial to the whole. So sometimes, they have their ways of doing things. Okay, Carol McDowell. Is that how you say it? McDowell. And the reason why I have you guys share is because it helps me to network. It helps me to reach people that I might not have reached. And so as I'm being of service, you guys are also helping me by sharing because you're broadening my audience. You're allowing me to reach new people and communities. Okay. I'm going to clear some of your energy real quick. You had a lot of energy really stuck at the surface that just needed to be cleared out. I feel like you're personally going through a lot of clearing right now. Because now my nose is running and I just feel like that there's a lot of things like you might be yawning a lot or coughing a lot or have runny nose, almost like an allergy symptoms, or even belching a lot. Like I feel like there's a lot of clearing that's happening in your energy. The energy is coming in and just kind of moving stuff that's really been brought right up to the surface, really right. And they're bringing me to your lower jaw. This is a different meaning than the whole jaw. The whole jaw is really stressed. This right here, um, there's some. Is there anything happening with your teeth right now? There's a lot of fear. We hold a lot of fear in our teeth. A lot of fear in our teeth. The teeth are a very primal thing. Fear is a very primal energy. It's really, we hold a lot of fears in here. And so there's a lot of fear that's being cleared from your lower jaw. But the image they're giving me, this is the interesting thing, is it's almost like your jaw is being pulled forward. Like the way that they show it, it's like it's being pulled forward. And I feel this stretch from right back here on like this tension right here. And so what they're saying is if you've ever heard of a gua sha, it's like this flat stone. If you get some like castor oil and put a little castor oil right here and right here down, um, if you follow right here, back and down, you're gonna feel a tension. I can feel it in my neck, which was not there before. So this is you right here. So you can do that. You can put a little oil through there and start really working on the tension because there's a lot that's clearing in you right now. There's a lot of primal energy that's being cleared in your body and your field right now. But there's a lot of it getting stuck right here, and then there's some stuff happening in your jaw. I don't know if you're having bleeding gums or just sore gums or just, feeling a lot of tension and stiffness in your neck, but you can kind of help it with the gua sha, kind of help move some of that energy. Yes, been not well on and off for weeks. And yes, bottom teeth have been sore, like I've gotten a strain back of my, perfect. Yeah. So really start working with that. If you have sauna or access to a sauna, like I literally have a pop-up sauna right there. Sauna is great. Sauna really helps with the inflammation and really helps to move some of the energy. There's a lot of momentum behind cold therapy, right? Ice baths and stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that. But for me personally, and the shaman energy, cold really constricts your chi. And it can regulate your nervous system. It's very helpful for learning how to regulate your nervous system. But a sauna is going to open up your chi. It's going to help your energy to flow. So what I do, and I don't know why we're going this, so someone must need to hear this. But I do I do hot cold therapy. So I always start in the sauna when I have access to one, and I just happen to be back where all my stuff is. So I got my sauna out of storage. But I do hot therapy, and then I take a 2-minute cold shower. And that just pushes my blood back down and, does that. But uh, if you don't have access to a sauna, just getting a good workout or good sweat in is going to help open up some of your chi. Breath work would be good to help move and flow some of your chi. Um, Drinking lemon water is going to be helpful, especially, again, even though you're not feeling well, and I know you physically haven't been feeling well enough, but remember that is a clearing. So when you get down on yourself or you're like, oh, I'm so over this, because we can get that way sometimes, remind yourself that when we have those things happening, it's energy clearing. So do things that support your body. Eat really well whole foods, right? Limit the processed foods. Drink water with lemon if you can, maybe even a little Himalayan salt in there for the minerals. The lemon opens up the cells, flushes them out. It's a good source of vitamin C, which is really important when it comes to giving your body the resources it needs. So when your body's clearing, it's trying to take all of its energy and resources to really break down and alchemize this energy so that it can be released from your body. So you need to be responsible for bringing a lot of resources in. Now I know why I needed to pick you. So let's pull a card for you. I personally love Kundalini breath work because it does. I've been doing Kundalini breath work for freaking ever because it involves movements that aren't, they're not strenuous, right? It's like a combination of qigong and breath work, honestly. But it 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 opens up your pathways in your body, and then you're utilizing the breath to help move it. So I love Kundalini breath work for that reason. And they have all kinds of, there's tons of free videos on YouTube that you can access to do Kundalini yoga because it utilizes both aspects of movement and breath. Carol McDowell. Oh, yeah. Like I didn't even get a full shuffle in or full, yeah, letting go, 44. Letting go. You see the water flowing, letting the energy go. And this is just a perfect confirmation. Just a perfect confirmation. And the 44 for me is a lot of people will associate 4 with family or relationships, but for me, this is ancestral. So this is the clearing is primal energy. It's energies that have been passed down generationally through your line, and you're just clearing those out. So this is a really good thing that's happening. Yay! I'm so happy that that resonated. All right, I think I have the energy and desire to do maybe 1 or 2 more. Where should we share? I only got Instagram to share this. I mean, you can share it on Instagram. I'm not going to see it, but I always have to trust your word. You can share the link on your Instagram stories if you have link access. If you have the ability to share on YouTube, because you can actually share on your own YouTube if you have your own channel or something. Frankie Sundu, are you here? If you are, comment so I can. So I can see. Okay, while we're waiting to see if Frankie Sundu is here, if you are, just comment so I can see that you shared. Your name really popped out, so if not, we're going to move on. In the meantime, I'm going to tap into Mark Hay. Let me take a drink. Oh, doesn't the sun just feel so glorious sometimes? Mark Hay. Oh, different deck. Okay. This deck is so sticky. And I'm going to be doing in my snow here in Glasgow. I love the snow, Carol. It's so beautiful, but I can only do it for like a week, two tops. Oh, shoot. Okay, before I continue, let me grab my charger real quick, or we're not going to have a broadcast at all from my laptop. So excuse me for one moment. Let me plug this bad boy in so we can keep going. Let's see if this is long enough. There we go. We're back in business. Glad I saw that. I can only do a week or two of snow, but you know what my favorite part of snow is how it absorbs all the noise, and it just brings this peace. Brings this peace. Okay, Mark Hay. Mark Hay. So, Mark, when I tapped into you, I immediately felt heart palpitations. I don't know if you've been having any heart palpitations or any chest pain, chest constriction, or just feeling heart flutters. Sometimes palpitations is too much of a strong word, and we just feel heart flutters. Like I've had heart flutters on and off all day today. But then I also felt tingling on my scalp. And so when I have tingles on my scalp, that is my sign for an activation, if you will, incoming energy, something happening. So you are going through a heart activation right now, a heart expansion. Your heart is being kind of, um, it's tickling my head right now. I just want to scratch my head. Just when you get the tingles, I want to go like this because they tickle. Um, my guides are laughing at me. But yeah, you're going through uh, your heart chakra is being activated. And so what that means is your heart's being opened. Yeah. We always think, oh, we have an open heart. No, most of us, our heart is not fully wide open. It's just not. But the more open we can allow it to be, the more energy will flow, the more guidance we will receive, the more in tune we will be with ourselves, with our inner voice. Remember that inner voice, the guides, your higher self, all of those work together as a soft, subtle voice. It is the largest part of you, and it is the quietest part of you. The loud part of you, the loud voice in your head, is always from the small parts of yourself that are born from wounded places. That is considered the ego and the inner child collective. These are what I call parts, aspects. I do a lot of parts work in private sessions and mentorship. Um, anyway, to stay on topic here, it is this opening so that you can be more in tune um, with that energy, with that flow. Um, so don't resist it. It can be a little uncomfortable. So some things that you can do, and I'm wanting to clear my throat, so it's going to clear things. Oh yes, thank you. They're also reminding me of a visual I saw when I tapped into you. Sorry, I kind of got off track there. When I was feeling that energy, I saw, and please don't read this the wrong way. So I saw this. I was in this darkness, and that doesn't mean anything, right? It's just like the void. And I saw this. I really couldn't see your silhouette. I couldn't see your light, um, but I could see. I have the gift. Part of my gifts is really being is like the owl energy. It's really being able to see in the dark. And so, without seeing your light, I could still see you. And there was this deep purple, um, so deep it was almost black, emanating around your entire silhouette. Um, and so they're really wanting you to turn on your internal light. Are you going through a hard time right now? Are you feeling like depressed or lonely or just down on yourself? Like, is there something that is making you feel, or do you feel disconnected in some sorts? Yes, I have had them recently. And when we open up our heart, we really allow that divine light in. So again, coming back to um, there's some clearing that's happening with the heart chakra opening, because with the wider the heart gets, and the more light is allowed in, it shines down on the density within. And that can sometimes bring up things that can make us feel heavy. It can make us feel depressed. This is a similar message to something we had earlier, where it is you need to change that main frame of this is coming up because it's clearing, not because this is who I am, not because I'm taking this personal. So whatever heaviness or things that show up, and I don't feel like it's consistent for you, but I feel like, it is a time of year. Sometimes we can call it seasonal, but whatever's coming up for you, I want you to change your main frame about this and really see it as something that is clearing. It's coming up to the surface because your heart is opening and you have room to receive it in, to love it as is, to love yourself in that form, to do what you needed to be done to you. Things going through my head a lot lately. So something I have not shared yet, and it will eventually be a reel, And this is something that came through in a private mentorship session with one of my students. There's two types of feelings. There's a feeling that is yours, right? It's a legit feeling, meaning it is um, in the moment, it is something that is showing up for you. And you'll be able to know the difference, right? And then there's a thought feeling, a feeling that comes from a thought, meaning your mind tells you a story. Your ego or inner children tell you a story. And since that story is probably something that you have believed or lived in the past, you're able to remember that feeling, and therefore you start to bring that feeling, you attach to that thought and belief, right? What you attach to becomes true, and then you start anchoring that feeling inside of you. So let me give you an active example of this. Yesterday, I had to drive a woman who has cancer 2 hours from me to her appointments. And it was storming here. In the past, there's always been this story that I can't drive well in the rain, that driving in the rain scares me. And this comes because when I was 15, I was in a pretty bad accident because my boyfriend at the time that was driving, it was raining and we lost control. He lost control of his truck and it flipped and rolled. And so it was a pretty bad accident during my development, right? I was only 15 years old. And ever since then, I have had this belief that it's not safe to drive in the rain. And so here's what happened. That thought came up. And I immediately, because I try to live as much as I can in the present moment and self-awareness, right? I immediately checked in with my body. And my body is going to tell me my true feeling. My body felt safe. I didn't feel anything in my body. But my mind was telling me something otherwise. Now, in the past, a couple of years ago, even though I've been doing this work for a long time, like we're always growing, we're always learning, we're always evolving, I would have listened to the thought and believed the thought and allowed the thought to create a feeling that took over me. So it's not a true feeling, it's a feeling made from thought. Do you see the difference? I mean, this is a really juicy thing you guys are getting right now. I really want everyone to hear this. My heart is totally open for now for the first time in a long time. That is a beautiful thing. So whatever's going on in your head is always going through the algorithm of the past to access the energy is always the same, right? The circumstances, the people, places, and things are what's going to look different. So you stepped into an energy that is similar to something that happened in the past, and your mind goes, "Let me go check my files," and it goes through the algorithm of the past and says, "Bingo, we felt this time, or we had the same energy this time. This is what you do to avoid pain. This is what you do to keep yourself safe." It's not true. It's not true. So you can believe that and replay the same story over and over again and install that energy over and over again. Or you can recognize and question your thoughts and say, thank you, ego. Thank you, inner child, whatever it is, right? It doesn't even matter. You can just say thank you. And check in with your body and not believe it. Question it. Does that have to be true? What if it's not true? What if that thought is not real? Right? So as your heart opens, we start to get more access to the density that's been always inside of us. And I always use the light analogy. This is a metaphor that guides brought through years ago, and I use it all the time because it just never gets old. A dimmer switch. If you turn the dimmer on just a little bit and you clean your entire house, let's just say you clean your kitchen, and you're like, oh yeah, it looks amazing. And then someone comes by and hits that dimmer switch up just a little bit, all of a sudden you're going to see dirt that was always there that you could not see before. So then you clean it again, and someone comes by and hits that dimmer switch up a little bit more, and you're like, shit, there's still more dirt. Why didn't I see this before? Because it was always there. You just couldn't see it before. I mean, it's the same thing that's happening in the world today, right? The things that are being exposed, the things that we're seeing, they're not new. We just couldn't see them before. So that's what's going on inside of you. And once you get really good at discerning that and working with that, the bliss that you can feel from living with your heart open is magnificent. It's magnificent. Let's see what card they want to bring through for Mark K. We have been on for quite some time today. Mark K. All right, let's see what we got for you. There we go. Oh, she's beautiful. Astrope. I know I'm butchering these names. 34, the visionary, awake. With an intuitive perspective, I see the bigger picture. So when your heart opens, we can see more, right? And look at her third eye. Do you see the blue emanating from? They're really bringing me to her third eye. You see the blue emanating from it? So the blue is always a representation for me. So I'm using my dictionary as a reader. The blue is always for me as Archangel Michael. And Archangel Michael has the sword of truth. And the sword of truth is to cut through the illusion, to see through the dark. To see through the dark. Remember that first visual I had where I couldn't see the light within you. I had to see in the dark. And I was able to see this deep purple emanating around you. It was because I was seeing through the dark. How synchronistic is that? All that gold that she has wrapped herself in, that gold is the God energy. And we all are God experiencing themselves as ourselves. So you have to remember that you are a visionary. You can see the big picture. You can see that that thought that you're thinking in that moment is just a thought. It's just a file from the past. It's your choice what you do with it. You don't need to narrow in to the dirt speck or the belief or the limitation. You can zoom back out and be like, yep, that's how things were before. But you know what? That's not how we're going to do things now. So see through the dark. See through the dark. Awake, conscious awareness, right? When I say self-aware, awareness is awakened consciousness. When you have the ability to take conscious action and creation instead of reaction, which is replaying the same action over and over again. Purple is my favorite color, as my daughter's. Purple is the energy of transmutation, alchemy. Very powerful color. Beautiful. I hope that resonated for you, Mark. Okay, so the other person never showed up. Hi, Rebecca. Hello, Angie. Michelle says, weather gone weirder in the UK. We normally get snow in the north, but now they had snow in the south and we didn't get any. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. Okay. You're so welcome, Mark. Okay, remember, guys, if you actually want to book a session, Quantum Soul session, or you want to do your own private half-hour reading, the links are above. I'm appreciative of all of you who showed up today. Let's go ahead and go with it says Tifa Santiago. Is your name Tiffany or is it Tifa? You should follow me on IG if you're not already. It's official _ Johanna _ Burkhardt. My question is what should work? What should I work on to better my finances? Huh. Immediately, your belief in yourself. Your belief in yourself. Your belief in yourself. Money is just energy. And I struggle with finances too. So it's um, a conversation that my guides and I are always having. Money is just energy, and it's the power that you give it. But something changes when our money comes from. Um, are you an entrepreneur? Are you somebody who is of service to the world? Oh, what is your full first name? It's I like to make sure that I'm connecting to the right energy, especially on these kind of live readings because there's so much energy. I have to really narrow into yours. So what is your full first name? Okay. Um, this is kind of personal. So I'm just gonna tell you how it is. I'm just gonna tell you how it feels. Um, I immediately felt my left kidney, and then I felt the symptoms of having a UTI, a urinary tract infection. Those are my signs for storing anger and grief, because anger is grief's bodyguard. And a UTI is always like pissing mad. Like there's a lot of anger and rage that's very deep within you. I don't know if you're aware of it. I had it and I had no clue. I was like, I'm not an angry person. I don't have any of this. Yeah. Then I finally tapped into it. And it was more than I ever could have imagined. I don't know what's happened to you in your life. I don't know. It feels like money is a form of security for you, a way of feeling safe and feeling secure. And I absolutely understand and get that 100% as a human. Um, but we really need you to see that money is simply energy. And if it's something that you have to work on your relationship with the money, seeing how you see it. Do you see it as something that's available to you? Do you see it as something that's loving and supportive? Or do you feel like it's always abandoning you? Do you feel like it's never happening for you? Do you feel like you're left out and alone? Do you feel like why not why is it not my turn? Why am I not being supportive with it? Why isn't it growing for me? Do you see it as something that makes you upset that things aren't working out with you? I feel anger of my love life. I'm sure about that anger. Well, anger is anger, right? So a lot of times we can mix the energies of love and money um, because they're very much intertwined. They're very much intertwined because both of those things bring forth, especially in humans, a level of safety and security that is outside of us. It's not from inside of us. I used to anchor my security into love. And then when I didn't have the love anymore from someone else, like someone outside of me, I anchored my security into money. And so they took the love away from me, right? The relationship ended. And then when I anchored all of my security into money, they took the money away from me. And I just have to be honest because that's the only way I roll. I'm just transparent like that. So I had to learn to feel safe. Hello from Belgium. I had to learn to feel safe and secure and worthy inside of myself without it. Um, and I feel like you worry a lot, and worry delays the manifestation. Worry delays the manifestation. Like, hear me when I say that. When you worry, you're betting against yourself. So it's really about you deciding what it is that you want. Um, when you ask, what can you do to better your finances? So here's the answer. I can really feel your kidney. Like, I can really feel your kidney. I really, um, it just tells me that there's things not flowing, and they brought me back to it. So we really have to you really need to hear me when I say this. It really feels like there's emotions that are backed up and damned. And that's an interesting word that they're giving me, because when things are damned, they're blocked. And when they're blocked, the good's blocked and the bad's blocked. So this is why I always tell people, don't fall for the protect your energy bullshit. Don't protect your energy. Protection implies resistance. It's building a dam. And when you build a dam keeping everything out. You can't just select certain things. Love is all inclusive. You have to allow the riffraff to flow through too. You just have to choose not to pick it up. You have to let it go by in the river. If you don't have a dam in your river, then everything's flowing, the good and the bad. And you get to choose what you want to attach to, and you let the other stuff just flow on by. That's the way that the energy works. And so you've got to really let your energy start flowing. You really have to tap into that, because if you're not paying attention and to the mirror of the anger from your love life, it's going to show up in other places. So they brought me back to that, stopped me in my tracks. So I really needed you to hear me with that. Okay. Something that you can do, though, on an exercise basis, is get really clear about what you want in your life that finances is going to affect. Yes, money can provide us a level of freedom and access to things. Um, and there's just truth to that, right? So what is it that you want in your life? What is the money going to do for you? What do you want the money for? How much money do you want consistently? And then really think about what would that feel like if that was your case. This is an exercise I do almost every day. So, what would it feel like if you had that? And then feel that feeling. So, here's the part that always used to screw me up. How do you feel that feeling if you don't have those things in your life? Right? Because that was a real question I had. It was a real question, because I got sick of people telling me that. I was like, how do you do that? How do you do that? If I don't have the money, if I don't have those things in my everyday life, how am I supposed to feel that feeling? Well, that's just it. It's just a feeling. So, what else feels that way? And so the analogy that I always like is, when if someone was to hand you $1 million, what would you do? And when I was presented with that question, I'd said, pay off all my debt. I'd be debt free, right? The word free is in there. Okay. Well, what would it feel like if you were debt free? I would be relieved. I would be relaxed. I would feel free. Okay. Those are the feelings you have to focus on. What else in your life creates those feelings? Whatever it is, you have to find that, and you have to focus on that, and you have to stay. Faith is having the courage to stay the course, to believe, to focus on the energies of what you're manifesting, even when physical reality is not showing it to you. That's what faith is. So you've got to work on a few aspects here. Um, One, you need to let that anger flow. You really need to let that anger flow. You really need to just allow your energy to flow, because there's some dammed up energy inside of you. You don't need to go to an energy healer. I mean, you can, but listen, I feel like you already know. You just need to let your energy flow. You just need to feel the feelings. Feel them. Just feel them. Allow it to take over you, not from a way of projection, but it's not comfortable, but just allow yourself to feel it. Don't fight the feeling. Use it as creatively too. Work on your relationship with yourself, your belief in yourself, anchoring in your security and your safety with you. Meaning, if you were homeless on the street, you could still feel safe inside of yourself and secure, even if you had no money, and know that everything would be taken care of. And it probably would be. And then everything else happens naturally. But you've got to broaden your focus and really come back to that state of being inside of you. I really think those are the things that are really going to work for you. But you really need to focus on what it is that you want to feel. And I get it. I get it. It's so frustrating. But you have had a lifetime of doing it the other way. And so when you fall back into worry and doubt, it shows up right away. Why? Because you have so much history and structure and energy that backs it. And you can feel it because it's heavier, it's dense, it's already had a lot of form to it. The other way takes a while because we have to consistently hold that new state of being, that new frequency, that new feeling for quite some time to build a foundation and a structure of that. So I 100% get that frustration because that's where I am. But I've seen its magic. You just have to keep doing it. So there's a few things that you got to work on, and you can all do it simultaneously. But of all else, please give yourself grace. Please take it one day at a time. And please don't listen to the negative thoughts in your mind that you're not enough, that you're not worthy, that you're not doing enough, because those aren't true. They're lying to you. Don't believe it. Don't believe it. I do worry a lot, but I also am accepting everything as it is, like you are mentioning. Are you really, or are you saying that you're accepting it? Because if you're accepting it, your energy would be flowing. You wouldn't have dammed up energy in your body. So you might want to accept it. You might be like, your part of you is like, yep, we're going to accept this, but there's a part of you that's still in resistance, still in resistance. Because just as I talk about that, I can feel a tightening in my back. I can feel a tightening, like a stress tightening, like you're freaking bracing for impact. Don't brace for impact. Let go. Allow. Relax your body. Relax your body. Um, you didn't you didn't ask for a general, but I'm going to pull a card for you anyway. Um, I don't know how to release the back and kidney issues. It's through feeling it. It's through feeling the feelings. It's from relaxing your body. So anytime you notice tension in your body, I want you to go into the tension. I want you to be like, oh, I'm tense. Call it out. So this is my purification process. I see you. I hear you. You are safe. I love you anyway. It's a mirror. It works with the 4 stages of an awakening and how you shift your energy. So awareness, I have pain in my back, I have pain in my kidney. I feel tension in my jaw, whatever it is for anybody, right? I feel the tension. That's awareness. I see you. I'm taking responsibility. I'm calling that shit out. 2, I hear you. I hear you is the emotion. It's the story. What's coming up in your head? Is there beliefs running around your head? Are you stressing out? Like, are you listening? Are you listening to yourself? Listen. Hold space for yourself. Listen to the story. Hear yourself. Hear the thoughts you're having. 3, I feel safe, right? I feel safe is allowing yourself to feel your body. So be like, okay, what does this tension feel like? All right, I'm just going to consciously unlock my back. I'm going to allow my body to relax. That means I need to lay on the floor. If that means I need to take a hot shower, if it means I just need to take some deep breaths, I'm going to consciously work intentionally to unlock my back and allow my energy to flow. And I love you anyway is loving yourself in that form, not judging yourself, not shaming yourself, not saying I should be somewhere else and I'm not. And this is going to take some practice. This is going to take some practice, but this is how you do it. You feel it. in its entirety. Okay, so the card that came out for you was the Stag. It says pride and leadership. The number is 17. So 17 for me is the number of omniscience, living in totality, seeing everything. Again, we're coming back to the same thing about being in the flow. When you're in the flow, there's no dam. It's a riffraff. Riffraff's in there, the treasures are in there, and you just get to pick and choose what you want. And that's true leadership. True leadership is standing up in your integrity and in authenticity and taking responsibility for all of it and saying, I'm going to be the change. True leadership is embodiment. It's being the change. So whatever you say, you got to make sure that's what you're doing. So if you say I'm enough, if you say I'm worthy, if you say I'm abundant, if you say those things, how does a person act that feels that way? That's what you got to do. All right? That's where your power is. So I hope that helps. I hope that resonates for you. Woo! All right, my loves, we're going to close it out. We've been on for 2 hours today. I appreciate every single one of you that showed up today. Donations are always appreciated, but thank you for trusting me with your energy. Thank you for showing up today. I will be on and off. It'll be interesting. I was going to go live on TikTok today, but there is some serious progress with the FCC. Actually, the FCC is legitly considering dropping TikTok. So I was going to go live on TikTok, but when I heard that, I said, I'm just going to focus here. It felt better to focus here. But I will be live on Instagram, and I do awesome stuff on TikTok. So follow me in all the places because I don't know where I will go live next. And it won't always be free readings. Sometimes there'll be donation-based readings. Sometimes it will just be live chit chats like I did yesterday. But they're always powerful. They're always amazing. The guides are always present when I'm talking, no matter what. Even when I'm not channeling, the guides will always peep in, and I always give little dips and beeps. So I hope you guys are kind to yourselves and one another, and that you see the pure magic and beauty that is available to you always. And I thank you for joining, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.